Hello, class 7th. Here is Kaushalya Rajpurohit, your English teacher, and today we are going to discuss Chapter 7 Comparison of Adjectives. So, today in this chapter, we are going to see that adjectives have three degrees of comparison: positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative degree. And we will be learning in detail about all the three degrees. So, the first degree is positive degree. This indicates no comparison of quality of noun or pronoun between two or more nouns, right? So, positive degree does not show any comparison. It simply describes a noun or a pronoun, right? So, positive degree of adjective is used to describe a noun or a pronoun. There is no comparison in positive degree. The second type of degree of comparison is comparative degree. This shows comparison between two persons or things. We use then after comparative degree, right? So comparative degree of adjective is used to compare two persons or things, and we always use then after a comparative degree. Now the third type of degree is superlative degree. Superlative degree shows comparison between more than two persons or things. We use the before the superlative degree, right? So, when we compare one thing with more than two persons or more than two things, right, then we use the superlative degree, and we always use the before the superlative degree. Now, let us see the examples. The example for positive degree is Ram is handsome, she is pretty. Now, in these two sentences, handsome and pretty are adjectives and they are in positive degree. They only describe the boy Ram or the girl. Okay, so there is no comparison here. Now, when we look for the example of comparative degree, Ram is more handsome than Sham. Now here Ram and Sham are the two persons and they are compared, right? So here the comparative degree of handsome, that is more handsome, is used, and you can see in the sentence that more is followed by than. More handsome than Sham. Again we have one more example. She is prettier than Priya. Now here a third person she is compared to Priya, right? And hence we use the comparative degree, that is prettier, and prettier is followed by than. Now let us see the example of superlative degree. Ram is the most handsome boy. Now here Ram is compared to all, everyone, right? And it is said that he is most handsome, that is he is more handsome than anyone else. That's why we use superlative degree. Superlative degree uses the before it, right? So you can see the most handsome. Similarly, she is the prettiest girl. Now here the third person she, right? She is compared to all the girls and it is said that she is the most prettiest, right? That means the prettiest girl. Okay, so when we compare one thing with more than two things, then we use the superlative degree. Now, making of adjectives, right? We can make comparative and superlative degree, right? By adding suffixes er and est to the positive one. But how to do it? What are the rules that we will be seeing in this chapter? Now, first thing, we add suffixes er and est to positive degree of one syllable. In this case, the positive either ends in two consonants or the second of which is not a Y. Right? So, we use ER and EST only when our positive degree ends with two consonants or the second is not a Y. Like small becomes smaller, smallest, clever, cleverer, cleverest. Making of comparative and superlative degree. We add R or EST if the positive degree ends with E. Now if the positive degree have E at the end, right, that means it ends with E, then we just add R for comparative degree and ST for superlative degree. You can see fine, finer, finest, nice, nicer, nicest. We change Y into I and add ER or EST if the positive degree ends with Y. So, if the adjective or the positive degree of adjective ends with Y, you can see here pretty and heavy are the two examples. Then we replace Y with I in the comparative and superlative degree and we add ER for comparative and EST for superlative respectively. Look here at the examples: pretty, prettier, prettiest. So in this example I have replaced the Y with I and I have added ER for comparative and superlative EST. Got it? Heavy, heavier, heaviest. Now we add ER or EST after doubling the last consonant if a single syllable adjective ends with a consonant preceded by a short vowel, right? That means that the positive degree and with a consonant, but it is preceded by a vowel, a short vowel. For example, here look, I have taken an example of hot. Now hot ends with T consonant, but it is preceded by a vowel O. Hot, it is a short vowel, right? So if we have such example, if we have such positive degree, then what we do? We double the consonant which is used at the last. Like in hot we have T, so we will be doubling the T. So T is double, that is hotter, hottest. So we double the consonant, the last consonant, and we add ER and EST to comparative and superlative degrees. Like hot, hotter, hottest, tall, taller, tallest. Now we add more or most to positive degree with adjective more than one syllable, right? So all the adjectives which have more than one syllable in the positive degree, we just add more to the comparative and most to the superlative, like more useful, most useful, more intelligent, most intelligent. There are also some irregular comparison. That means no rule is used for such positive degrees, like much, more, most, little, less, least, right? So there are some adjectives whose positive degree and superlative degrees are irregular, right? So the comparison is irregular. There is not a specific rule, like much, more, most, little, least, less, least. Correct uses of adjectives. Now there are some adjectives which can be misused, or we can fail to use them correctly in the sentence, right? For example, little, a little, the little. Now all of the three sound same and we may get confused to how to use them, right? So let us see. Little means not much, a little means some but not enough, the little means not much but all there is, that is all that is, right? So if we add a article to little or we add a or the to little, then the use of little changes, right? For example, little means not much, a little means some but not enough, the little means not much but all that is, right? So here little and a little means not much in quantity and it is used always before uncountable nouns, while the little means not much but all that is available, right? For example, Dimple has little money to stop, Dimple has a little money to buy a pen, Dimple spent the little money on a new dress. There are some more examples like few, a few, the few. Now here few means not many in number. Few is used with countable nouns, while a few means some and the few means not many but all that is available, right? And few is always used with countable nouns. We can see the example. Few people came for the meeting. The meeting was attended by a few people. Different profiles were assigned to the few people in the meeting. Now, there is one more such type of adjective like much and many. Much refer to quantity, that is uncountable quantity, and many refers to number which are countable. Both means more in quantity or number, right? So much is mostly used before the uncountable nouns and many is mostly used to before or to refer countable nouns. Let us see some example. There is much light in the classroom. Many students had to wait for their turn. Now here much referred to light, which is an uncountable noun. Many students, right? Student is a countable noun, so we use many to refer students. I have many novels. Now here novels is also a countable noun, so I used many for novels. There was much traffic at the intersection today, right? So here we use much because traffic is not countable. We can't count the traffic. Okay? So much and many both mean more in quantity or number, but much refer to uncountable nouns and many refer to countable nouns. Some, any. Some is normally used in affirmative sentences to express quantity or degree, right? So some is used are always used or normally used in affirmative sentences to express a quantity or degree. While any is used in the negative sentences. Both some and any can be used with countable and uncountable nouns in interrogative sentences, right? So we use some in affirmative sentences, any in negative sentences, but some and any can be used before both countables and uncountable nouns in interrogative sentences. For example, we have some friends who work in Mumbai. Are there any apples in the fridge? No, there isn't any, right? So these are the example of some and any. Now one more group of adjective is or pair of adjective is each and every. Each refer to individual things, persons in a group. Every refers to all present in the group, right? So each is used for the individual person or a thing in a group, while every refer to all the things or all the person which are present in a group. Each means one of two or more things of any number, while every means speaking of more than two taken in a group. For example, each student will draw a picture on a board. Every student will draw a picture on a board, right? So these are the examples of each and every. Use of the, than, as and not so as with adjectives, right? So we will be seeing when to use the, than, as, not so as with the adjectives. In the sentence, the is used before the superlative degree of adjective of quality, right? So we have already seen that the is always used before the superlative degree. So the use of the is before the superlative degree of adjective of quality. June is the hottest month of the year. Harsh is the most intelligent boy in the class. In the sentence, than is used after comparative degree of adjective of quality. This also we have discussed that we always use than after comparative degree. Like my sister is taller than me. This room is more comfortable than that, right? So the is always used before superlative degree and than is always used after comparative degree. Now let us see the use of as and not so as. In affirmative sentences, as can be used to show similarity in quality of two or more nouns or pronouns, right? You are as tall as your brother. That means you and brother, that means both are compared and they it shows the similarity, right? Both have are you can say the second person, you, and the brother both are same tall, or you can say they have same height. Rinky is as talkative as Pinky. So when we compare two things and when we want to show the similarity between the two things or person, we use as with a positive degree. You can see tall and talkative is positive degree of adjective of quality. In negative sentences, not so as can be used to show dissimilarity, right? So as and as are used in affirmative sentences to show similarity, but in negative sentences to show dissimilarity we use not so as. For example, Rohit is not so polite as Shobit. So, Rohit and Shobit are compared, and Rohit is said to be less polite than Shobit. My teacher is not as polite as my mother, right? So, here teacher and mother are compared and this similarity is shown, right? So, as is shown is used with a positive degree in affirmative sentences, and not so as is used with positive degree but in negative sentences. Okay, so I hope you have understood the topic. Thank you.